So, fam, we were talking that night when we did the show the other night, and we'll get to it before later on. When we did our last interview that night of the election night, it was with Jimmy Dore. We were pretty much talking as Donald Trump had won. Yeah. Right? Like, it was over. Like, there was no way to cut ground. It looks
Hundreds of thousands of votes.
We're going to blame the Russians. We're going to hear Russiagate stories in the morning.
No, now it's China.
Or China or Iran, whatever. We didn't hear that. But then all of a sudden, in the still of the night, we see these astronomical jumps. Yeah. These mathematical anomalies that don't make sense. And people just accept it. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, these are abnormal. They don't happen. There are scientists and mathematicians looking at this. So when you say, is there any evidence? Are you a mathematician? Because there's mathematicians and statistical analysts, many of them that are saying, yeah, it's more than likely election fraud took place over here. Some type of fraud took place.
They can't tell you exactly what, because we don't have fair and free elections where we can look into these machines.
We don't have audits.
So that already is a red flag. The fact that we can't look into these machines, we can't have audits, that's already a red flag.
Yeah, and the fact that ballot harvesting is legal and these mail-in ballots given out like confetti,
and it's not a right-wing talking point.
That's not for fraud. It's an open door for fraud. So let's get back and I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, how it happens to you, progressives. Let's relive the Biden versus Bernie Texas battle, fam. Yeah. Because we were doing this. We were talking about this and this. I think California was that night. You were out there on the field. Me and Niko were here. We smelt a rat. We all said something going on. Let's take a look at the first one. We're going to go by step. I'm going to try to do the best I can. So with 31% reported in, Bernie Sanders had a lead of 37,366 votes. So from 0 to 31%, Bernie Sanders got 1,205 more votes than Joe Biden per 1%. So every 1%, if you can figure it out, fam, 1%, he had a 1,200 point lead. 2%, he had a 2,400 point lead. 3%, and so on. So that was the pace. Now at 40%, from 31 to 40%, Sanders had a 52,816 lead. Sanders gained 15,450 votes, which he then averaged 1,117 more votes per 1%. Yep. Okay, for Bernie Sanders over Biden. So from 0 to 40%, he had about an average of 1,300 more votes per 1%. Okay, which is the pace. And you got to pay attention to this. You can see that there, right? Okay. Now, here's where everything starts to swing, right? Okay, and we start looking at this, whatnot. The later votes to come in are going to be more progressive. Okay, that's the way it goes. The early votes that come in are considered to be more conservative. So if Biden had a chance to win, he would have got out in the front, and Bernie Sanders would have catch him. Instead, Bernie Sanders got out in front. We were like, oh, we got this in the bag now. This is important. And think about the perception, fam, to win Texas. Right. Biden winning Texas over Sanders. Think about the perception now that it sets when they cheat the situation. What kind of mentality they set in play. Yeah. Bernie Sanders beats him there in Texas. He beats him by a lot in California. It's over. But the establishment wasn't letting that happen. So at 42%, Sanders still had a lead of 48,425. Biden gained about 4,391 votes, which means he got 2,196 votes per 1%. Okay? Still not abnormal. You're like, okay, that's not too abnormal. That seems okay. Maybe some Biden counties came in a little bit late. That's a little bit weird, but that's okay. Even when 43%, 1 percentage up when they showed it again. Biden gained another 5,000 votes, okay? More votes, and he pretty much 1,741 votes per 1%. So you can see the average margin of 1% would be a 1,300 to a 2,100 vote swing, right, fam? And that's pretty much within the margin of okay. Here's where it gets crazy and where we started going, wait a second. Now all of a sudden Sanders' lead shrunk dramatically. From 43% to 46%, Sanders, now his lead shrunk to 32,063. Biden gained 15,530 votes. He averaged 5,177 votes per 1%. We were like, wait a second. That number does not look good. Something's going on. We were saying this is where the possible dump comes. Mail-in ballots that can be harvested and walked in somewhere in Tejas. We know what's going on.
All right, so Pasta, I get what you're saying here. Okay. So let me just show them the photo real quick so that they can understand it. Because I don't know if y'all understand here, the 1 percentage point that Pasta's saying is that for every 1% that was reported, there would be a average 5,000 in this 1%. That's how much was. But that's an anomaly because previously it was just 1,741. And before that, it was 2,196. And before that was 1,320.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're saying. You're saying the percentage
jumped up
1%.
Way too high.
Yeah.
Way too high. Me and Niko started looking at each other. We said, wait a second. There has to be a dump here. He gained too many votes too far, too fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was late.
It was late.
Yeah.
Now,
I remember this.
Once again, Biden, if he had the majority of his votes would come in early, not late. The late votes would go to Sanders. Everybody's standing in line. All those votes, all those young people, those are Sanders. They want you to make you think it's different. From 46 to 52%. Sanders' lead was now down to 13,687. Biden had gained 18,376 votes, which means he had averaged 3,063 more votes per 1% for Joe Biden over Bernie Sanders. Once again, we're like, this is getting crazy.
Now we have it 28 to 27%.
Yes. Yep. The next one, 52 to 55% reported. Sanders was only up 5,234. Biden had gained another 8,500 votes almost. He averaged 2,800 more votes per 1% per percentage point than Bernie Sanders, okay? So from 55 to 55% again, here's where it got really nuts.
Wow.
The next one, out of the blue, Biden had gained 4,300s out of thin air.
Yep.
Out of thin air, because this is part of the dump, and this is, once again, the reason why it's 55% is what they do is they inflate the count.
Yep.
If you inflate the count, it moves the percentage down or keeps it even, and therefore, this is where we were like, oh, no, this is bullshit. So pretty much from 52% to 55%, Sanders had less than 1,000 vote lead. Remember, he had a enormous lead of 50,000. He was down to less than 1,000. Joe Biden had gained almost 13,000 votes, averaging 4,250 votes per 1%.
And this is pre-COVID, okay?
Yeah.
This is like right before COVID.
Oh, yeah. So where are these
Things
ballots?
Things are different now after COVID. So we're going to get into that.
But it didn't stop. From 55 to 61%, this is where Niko almost lost his shit. Biden had now gained another 31,388 votes. He was up by that many. Pretty much he had gained 32,000 votes because he was down less than 1,000. He averaged, once again, the mathematical anomaly, 5,385 votes per 1% more for Bernie Sanders. This is what we're talking about. Joe Biden takes the best dumps, right? This is it right here. Okay? 61 to 65%. It seems like the dump was over. Everything went back to normal. Maybe it was the end of it, but Biden had gained 5,700 more votes. He now was averaging about 1,429 votes per 1%. So, look at these numbers right here. And Johnny, I want you to put this up. This is right below the 65% picture. Here it is. Between 40% to 61%, okay? Biden outgained Sanders by 84,204 votes. During this dump, Biden averaged 4,000 more votes per 1% than Bernie Sanders. If you take the whole thing, the last part from 140 to 65, Biden kind of averaged 3,600 votes, almost 3,597 votes. Look at Bernie Sanders. From 0 to 40%, he averaged 1,320 more votes per 1% than Joe Biden. This is what we're talking about, mathematical anomalies. This is not possible unless there's a dump. I mean, what is the thought process? What is the excuse, fam? The way the late votes came in, like all the big areas go for Bernie Sanders.
There is zero excuse. You can try to say, well, where's your proof? This is as far as proof gets for 2016. Like, this is as close as that. Apart from the exit polls, apart from all the bullshit voter suppression and the machines and the provisional ballots and all the shit that we covered, this is math. Yeah. You cannot fuck with math. You cannot tell me that these are not mathematical anomalies. You cannot tell me that these are statistical probabilities that are way off. I got a 99% in my statistics class in college.
Thank you.
Like, this is not normal unless there's an outside factor.
Yeah. And the thing is, at 65% now to 75%, it went back to normal. Now Sanders starts gaining more votes. Now he starts coming into play, right? So, you know what I'm saying? And then 70 to 79%, it seemed like it was the end of the dump again. Here it goes. Biden's gaining almost 3,000 votes per 1%. The next one too, Johnny, I just put up there. I just kind of jumped ahead. But you can see, I mean, the numbers I put up there in the block are the ones that we just showed right there, the ones to pay attention to.
And what do you mean by dump, Pasta?
I mean that since ballot harvesting is legal, since there's been an extensive amount of mail-out ballots, somebody can walk in, one person, two person, three people, like there was accused of in Michigan, can walk in with a ton of ballots, and just dump them.
Or
and
what
get
about?
The machine.
But what about the numbers? What about the fraction magic as well?
Well, we'll get to that too, because that's your section. We'll talk about that too, because there's many more ways to screw an election. We've been saying this. We have systemic issues with our elections. They've been dirty, filthy. Way before we even started this,
decades.
But the research we've been doing, and we've been following this closely since 2016. We followed K-Dem elections.
Yeah.
The Democrats cheat in their K-Dem elections.
They admitted it.
They admit they cheat. Literally, David Atkins, how you doing, David? Good to see you. Said, this is totally disgusting. There was major malfeasance. There was institutional players, but the math wouldn't have mattered. So we're gonna let the vote stand. They allowed cheating. They have been cheating for a long time. Their system is placed. Yep. They feel the ends justify the means.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story, and we're going to get more into this. So now they call Joe Biden the winner at 79%, right? 79%. Yep. We see the averages. Let's go to the Rockfin video. Johnny, do you have anything to say about this too? Because you said before, like, you don't have to be a mathematician to understand these numbers are a little bit off. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You can see 0 to 40%. Bernie Sanders gained that many votes. There's all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's no way Biden got all those votes in Texas. I mean, who the fuck thinks that happened? And then the 3-hour-plus lines, the voter suppression. We got footage of that. They took down our footage on YouTube.
Yeah.
They took it down. That's a whole other thing.
They can walk in their ballots, mail-in ballots, while people are waiting in line to vote. And this is the reason why the mail-in system was cut in France in the 1970s. Late 70s or the early 70s, I can't remember. They got rid of it because it was too many areas for fraud. It's an open door for fraud. If we're going to have a mail-in system for elderly or handicapped people, so be it. But let's make sure it's secure. Let's make sure there's tracking. I'm talking certified mail tracking. Yeah. So all this stuff, because we haven't even touched the voter rolls yet. I mean, did you guys call when you guys left Florida? I know I didn't. Did you call your state and go, hey, man, take me off the voter rolls. I'm moving to California? Nobody does. No. Nobody does. No. So those ballots go out. They go back somewhere, and then it can end up somewhere.
Yeah. I got to check to see if someone voted for Biden.
Somebody could have voted. Fiorella voted for Biden in Florida. Watch, it's gonna happen. But check this out. Look at the Rockfin stream right here. This was the night we talked about this. Now we look at these elections, and I'm gonna show you some stuff over here. But this is what Fiorella said, and then listen when I follow up with her. In Texas, Donald Trump is opened up a little bit more of a lead right now. He's about a little bit less than 300,000. He's right around the same right now. But once again, all those border states, fam, on the border of Mexico and Texas have not reported, and that is big-time Trump land. Those are real Americans, real democracy right over in there, so we got to watch that one.
Now, we have to look at, too, as the vote-by-mail ballots. Those are going to be a way where the Democrats are going to say, well, no, we have to count these ballots that haven't come in yet, or they're going to pull something like that. That very well may happen, but at the same time, that is also going to be met with contention when it comes to the Trump administration and their campaign. They're definitely not just going to let these ballots come in without knowing who's putting them in, where are they coming from. If we recall in the primary, I keep bringing this up because Bernie Sanders was winning Texas, and then all of a sudden, boop, it flipped to Joe Biden. Now, that was the primary. That was Democrats doing that. I don't know if that is going to happen, maybe with the Democrats doing that to Donald Trump. We don't know, but as of right now, it does not look like Joe Biden is going to win this election. It looks to me like it's Trump's game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? You're psychic.
Not take a psychic to figure out that the Democratic establishment
How did you
dirty.
know?
Like, they're dirty. They did this to Bernie. What? People can't answer this question when I retort, like, oh, yeah, what happened with Bernie? There was proof. Okay, so they magically stopped, like, cheating this? They magically stopped? They just
had
decided,
a coming to Jesus
hey,
moment.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We're just going to stop.
We're going to stop cheating.
Especially against the guy they hate, right?
Yeah, right.
Especially against the guy they hate.
They
the
think
most
it's justified.
Election of our time, where they feel like they can't control Donald Trump as much, whatever it is. Nobody's saying Donald Trump is like a good guy here, or he's like a saint or anything like that. I mean, maybe some people are, but we're not saying that. But that's irrelevant how you feel about Donald Trump. Like, these numbers are there.
Yeah. And there's undeniable mathematical evidence that the election is being stolen. Yeah. I put it up there, but I put the picture up, John, because the one thing I want to talk about, when I did my Professor Pasta video, fam. There was 3 things I said that we knew they were going to cheat this way. Like what you said right here, right?
Yeah.
At the time, we said maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe Donald Trump's got this under control. Maybe there's FBI agents out there.
We knew he was going to fight back at least.
At least. We knew if something happened. But it didn't appear like they were going to do it. But they did it in the middle of the night. The mathematical, So now in the Professor Pasta video, I said we knew they were going to do it because they tried to do in the HEROES Act. They tried to remove the provision that says they don't have to check signatures. They said they tried to attack the post office like the post office was going to be the big issue. We knew that. They tipped off their hat. And then they were selling this lie, and they keep selling this lie, that mail-in vote favors Democrats over Republicans. Let's talk about just Michigan. We can talk for hours because today I'm going to talk about Michigan before we hand it off to the machine issue and stuff. Early voting in Michigan, okay? Look who requested more ballots, more mail-in ballots. It was Republicans. Johnny, if you can make that big right there. Look at that. Oh, my God, fam. You're telling me 41 to 39% more Republicans requested mail-in ballots. So those late-night mail-in ballots, where are they coming from, ladies and gentlemen? Where are they coming from? This is a myth that they're selling you. Mail-in ballots always favor older people. Older people tend to be more what, fam? Conservative. This is ridiculous. They're selling this like, oh, the networks. The networks.
Oh, let's trust the AP. I have progressives telling me, oh, what the New York Times, CNN, and AP, they know what they're doing. They have election specialists. What? Who pays those fuckers? Are you that daft? Like, who pays them? Come on.
This is so stupid. This is the story, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the thing. Late at night, we went to bed, right? We were sitting there. We did the show. We were getting ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there watching the TV, and I saw this happen in front of my very own eyes. I love these trolls that are coming back and trying to correct this stuff. No, those are the wrong numbers. You took a screenshot. These are the real numbers from Wisconsin, Milwaukee. These are the real numbers from Michigan. No, ladies and gentlemen, take your screenshots. Take your screenshots because they're scrubbing everything to try to hide the evidence. Okay, I couldn't find this yesterday. Thank God I had a screenshot of it. Here it is. Michigan, 90.9% in. Donald Trump is up 2,200,902 to Joe Biden's 1,992,356. Look at Jo Jorgensen. She's got 49,198. She's got Howie Hawkins, 10,599. Don Blankenship. Okay, so then all of a sudden, bam! Look at it on the right now. Donald Trump still has 2,200,902. Joe Biden has 138,391 votes. Jo Jorgensen didn't move. Howie Hawkins didn't move. Don Blankenship didn't move. Don't tell me this is a fucking glitch either, because that's your bullshit. There's been glitches all over the place.
Glitches always favor
This was a dump. This was what they said, 4 o'clock in the morning. Here they come. Cars are coming in. All these ballots, all for Joe Biden. This is a
4
dump.
4 o'clock in the morning, 2-something our time, and 5-something Eastern time. I know, because we were awake, and we were like, oh, what the fuck? And then we were with people who, our friends who have first produced our earlier shows. They told us, like, we wouldn't have believed this if we weren't with you guys. If we would have been watching this at home,
you would have been duped.
We would have bought their narrative. But we saw what you guys were saying live, and we saw what happened. They're like, holy shit. This is happening. They're literally rigging this election. This election is getting rigged. And these are people that I can say likely voted for Joe Biden. I mean, they're no Trump supporters. They're no fans of Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form. Like, these are people that, like, I know went blue, and they live in Nevada. So it was that state. It's that state right now in particular. Yeah. But it's like, they were like, we wouldn't have believed you guys. Like, how do we get people to see what's going on? Like, how do we get people to understand what happened here? Because people are just jumping on this narrative. And we're like, I don't know.
And here's the thing. Kevin Sorbo gets it, right, Johnny? You know who Kevin Sorbo is? You probably do. Kevin Sorbo was Hercules, I think he was, or... Ladies and gentlemen out there, Kevin Sorbo, he was one of the Hercules guys when they did the TV show and stuff like that. He said, I flipped a coin 138,000 times, and it landed on heads each time. Believe me, fam.
That's the probability, you guys.
No, he's wrong, because it's 138,390 times.
Okay, so...
I don't even think the 390 times you can get heads every single time. But this is what they're trying to make you believe, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not just 2 options; it's 4 options, right?
Yeah.
Like Joe Jorgensen and all the candidates there.
And the same thing with the Texas thing, Johnny. I'm glad you understood that because that's what people don't understand. They're like, well, there's 2 other people in that. That's why those 2 other people make it almost impossible for Joe to get those leaps and bounds because there's other people grabbing those votes.
So don't give me the, people hated Trump so much that all of them just voted for Joe Biden. All of them in a row, like 130-something, 9,000 of them? All of a sudden, all of them?
Yeah.
Come on, you guys.
And I made a tweet. On. Here's something else, fam. The bias. Okay, the way the propaganda. This should be illegal the way they do that. The way they call these things. Ladies and gentlemen, Bernie Sanders fans, click on this right over here. They called Michigan for Biden with 54% in. He was less than 100. He was about 100,000 votes down. But once again, he was...
And that was a whole other bullshit too, by the way.
54% in. But now you go to Donald Trump and stuff, he's up by 300,000 votes with 58% in, 3 times as much. They don't call it, fam. They hold on.
Trump, yeah.
They wait. They don't call it. 58. Donald Trump was up here 300,000, 322,000, 326,000 votes over here. 326,000 votes with 50% in, they don't call it. Bernie Sanders is down 100,000 votes with 54% in, they call it. What do you mean you call it? There's all these people in line. What's going on? How do you do it? Oh, we have the mail-in votes. We understand. We got this. Don't worry. Sit down. Listen to us.
Yeah, just take our word.
Just take our words.
Just take our word.
Do you guys see
Fake
the
news.
hypocrisy here, ladies and gentlemen? Progressives, wake up. This is the fight. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It is disgusting what's happening.
Oh, my God.